Offensively, there's a lot of pretty good linemen playing right now. And so, Peyton Mojo is starting for us at tackle. We didn't have him available last year. He was out for the year just because he was getting started up and getting going into eligibility factors, and we had to catch him up. And so he's starting at left tackle, backed up by Josh Krim. So that's a pretty good battle. Josh played a lot of football before we were here, and then he had wrist surgery last year, so we had him on a medical, so we got him back for his extra year. So there's a pretty good battle right there. And we got a good battle at center. We got Vinny Propson and both Jay Young. Vinny was a starter, and he got hurt last year at Tiffin, and he had surgery, so he's on his way back. So you can play with either one of those guys there. They're both real good players, to the point where when one plays, the other one doesn't have to stay on the bench. He can go play guard, which helps you there too. So then we got Ziggy's a starting guard, and Thompson McWaters is the other tackle. And so, we can bounce some people around behind him. And so there's always been good competition there. Latrell and RJ are both good quarterbacks. Latrell's good enough to start too. And so that's competitive there every practice. Jake and DeAndre, that spells out like it is, and DeAndre will play a lot too. Tight ends, Brunius has made a good push, as is Cole, moving over from defensive end. And Mitch has had a good camp. Mitch had a foot fracture last year, and we had to get that thing fixed up, and he missed the rest of the year, so we got him back in the saddle right there. So there's good people there too right now. Defensive end, Dudek has really stepped up. You guys probably never heard of him. He was a freshman last year. And Jake is from Lincoln Way West in Chicago. Kirby recruited him. We had him at defensive end and defensive tackle as a freshman, and now he's at defensive end, and we'll start him. He had a real good camp. So him and Austin are at a defensive end. At the other end, you got Jeremy Stotts, who we moved over from linebacker. Alluded to the last time we met, McQuan Hudson, who was a freshman last year. So there's 4 ends right there battling all the time, and they'll probably all play. Logan McCone is back at inside, and Abram Cook and Gus and LaRyan. So they'll all play, they'll all battle, and we'll have to play them all. It's going to be hot. I expect McHenry to get the ball out and throw it a lot of short game, screens, things to get it away from the box, and put our defensive skill people in the position that they have to make an open field play, and I expect them to do that a lot during the game. And so we'll have to rotate the front, and it's going to be hot, and we'll have to keep them fresh. And so linebacker, constant battle. Rotating in with the ones right now, you have Jack and Terrell, and at the Sam and at Mike, you've got Austin and Darko, so they're all playing. The way I rotate the ones is they split the reps right now, and at the twos we got Alex and we have Zach. So, right now getting ready for the game, we're gonna have to play a lot of people because this is gonna be that kind of game. I expect all of them to play, all 6 of them. And we'll rotate him and try to keep him fresh. And if someone's struggling, the next guy will go in and try to fix it. And at corner, we're pretty solid there with Nick and Deontay. And at strong, we're pretty solid with Troy. And at free, we're pretty solid with Brady back there. And at weak, with Jalen. And, those are our best secondary players. Anthony Ladd, who's a freshman from Grand Rapids Christian, will play with Jalen. He'll back Jalen up at weak safety, expect him to play. So I expect us to play 4 freshmen on Saturday on defense, between Darko and Jack and Eddie at the other end. Eddie Pearson will play at that end, and Anthony. And we won't play. I don't think we'll get to any freshmen on offense, but we will on defense. So competition is a good thing, especially if there's not fall off between a first team guy and a second team guy. Then everybody's a first team guy, and they all play, and then we can figure out who's playing better, who needs a spell because they're fatigued, whatever the case may be, and we have enough people to shuffle in and out. And so that's what we'll do. Special teams, that's nailed down solid. That doesn't change. And but we won't play any freshmen on offense. We're a little bit more mature there and a little bit more seasoned.
For those freshmen playing on defense, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges in coming in a first year or redshirt freshman and learning the defense?
Yeah, you just have a lot more scheme to learn. You have a lot more adjustments because offenses are more complex generally than what you face before you get to college. So they go through that, and then they get into a game. You can practice. You get into the game and the lights go on, things change. It's just the mental makeup. So you have to learn how to have the poise to do your job and do it well. And I don't expect all our freshmen to be perfect right there. They're going to go through that learning stage, and that's part of the fun.
How can you tell when you see a freshman practicing that he's got it or he's ready to be playing on that field?
Well, generally because they make more plays than other people do. They're productive in practice. They can tackle. They can get lined up. They can cover. Especially in the secondary. The linebackers are the young ones they're big and fast. And they're strong kids. So, and they kind of come from programs that have them ahead of the normal incoming freshmen at this level of football, and so they're developed more physically. If you look at Jack and Darko, you wouldn't guess that they're 18. If they walked in here right now, which for you guys as the media, it's probably good to try to set up and get around those guys a little bit and come to practice and look at them so you know what you're looking at. But for those guys, Jack and Darko, they don't look like they're 18. They don't act like they're 18. Their cognitive development is better than most 18-year-olds. They're like dealing with 21-year-olds, and so they've got more skill sets than other people do, so they get to play.
Any key injuries going into this week?
Yeah, we've got a couple, but I'm not going to talk about that. But, not bad. I mean, we're in pretty good shape right now. Coming out of camp, we've probably got one guy that's not going to be, or two guys. We got two guys that aren't available to us that I wish we had them, but that'll work itself out as we get moving forward.
Can you measure how much farther you're along right now than you were a year ago?
We're a better football team, but until we go play and see what it looks like on game day, I can't give you the difference yet. It's a different football team. They've been in our package another year compared to last year. They're more mature. There's a lot of different dynamics compared to last year that are beneficial. And so I expect more and better things, absolutely. But to measure where we're at, I can't tell you until we're done playing.